Hello, everyone. Welcome to Link Live. My name is Marina Mayer, Editor-in-Chief of Food Logistics and Supply and Demand Chain Executive, and I'm here with my lovely ladies. If you want to go around the room and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Brielle Jekyll. I'm the Associate Editor.
And I am McKenna Morales, and I am the Assistant Editor.
And today is our April Fool's Day special because we are talking about how the last mile continues to pull pranks on consumers. It's a lovely topic considering the influx in direct-to-consumer and in e-commerce. Before we dive into this discussion, obviously we want to hear from all of you that are watching. We do have a couple of housekeeping items. Nominations for Supply and Demand Chain Executives Top Supply Chain Projects close April 11th. There is no extension. So please get those nominations in. Yesterday, Brielle and I presented in our SCN Summit on transportation, talking trends, technologies, and everything else in between. So if you missed it and you just cannot sleep tonight as a result, you can still go online and register for the on-demand version. I will put the registration link in the chat. And while you are on that registration link, please register for tomorrow's session where industry experts from Elitech will talk about how to manage supply chain disruptions before they occur. Who knew that was even possible? But it is. Also, we just opened up registration for our SCN Summit Workforce Development Session. That's in April. And I will be meeting with select supply chain professors to learn more about what companies should be doing in terms of hiring, training, retraining, and upskilling supply chain professionals. So make sure you tune into that as well. So now we are going to talk about the last mile. And the reason why we are talking about the last mile today in terms of our woes is because ever since the pandemic happened, obviously e-commerce increased and more people are working from home, they're shopping from home, they're eating at home, they're doing more things at home. So things are coming into their homes. And we've all been there. You order something and you're so excited and it either took forever to ship or it came in a million pieces, or in sometimes McKenna's case, you even received the wrong thing. So as e-commerce continues to grow, so too will these last mile challenges. And so for those of you watching, we want to hear what your challenges are. We want to hear what your solutions are. We want to hear your advice. But each of us have kind of our own little story to share. And I guess I'll kind of knock it off first because I never get to participate in this. Because it's usually Brielle and McKenna in their unboxing the last mile, where they talk about a lot of that. But my husband and I ordered a new treadmill 1 month ago. Keep that in mind. I'm not going to tell you where it came from. But as most of these companies do, they outsource a lot of that delivery, the logistics service. So it took them 1 month to come back and schedule the time to bring the treadmill down to our basement and put it together. And the entire process of that appointment took 30 minutes by the time they showed up and brought it downstairs. Now, mind you, it had been sitting in my foyer for 1 month because it was too heavy for, my husband couldn't carry it by himself. And let's face it, I'm not in any condition or any height to be carrying a treadmill down the stairs. So I was of absolute zero use. Play with your hair if you read this. Yes. Does that work? Yes, we can see you. But it was a logistics woe because when we had scheduled and purchased it, we had scheduled for them to come and bring it downstairs and put it together. And when they showed up and just dropped off on our front door, we were kind of like, thanks. Where are you going? What are you doing? So that logistics challenge occurred because those two companies weren't really speaking to each other. They didn't communicate with each other. They didn't inform the other. And I think that, we covered a little bit of that yesterday, Brielle, in our transportation summit. But when there is that lack of communication, when you're outsourcing some of these services and your company is relying on other companies to follow through, and it left kind of a bad taste in our mouth. But the good thing is that they definitely came through and helped us out. But 1 month with a treadmill in my foyer and the box and a gazillion pieces, and my 60-pound half lab was terrified of it. And it just was a mess. So that is mine. I know you ladies have a lot more because you deal with it with your unboxing the last mile. And you definitely order a lot more online than me. Mine's like food for the kids and, okay, who's outgrown their shoes. So who wants to go next? Because I know you definitely have some. McKenna, I know I have a link of yours as well.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Do you want to go first, McKenna?
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry.
I know. I think I read that wrong. Continue to go.
As we all know, I'm extremely unlucky in logistics. I have several complaints over the last few weeks with companies, but I understand why companies offer this, and it's when you're like shopping at Target or another big box store. I'll just name drop. It's Target. I ordered a bunch of clothes from them, and they were like, "Oh, to save $1 and combine your orders, it might take a little longer, but you can still save $1." And I am cheap, so I clicked that, thinking I would get it all in one, but it's still shipped in 4 different packages, which
Oh my God.
4 different ones. And that's how it was before they offered me the dollar option. And I get it, it's because of the different warehouses and fulfillment centers. But if you're going to offer that option to be more sustainable and for people to save money, go on your word a little bit more. That's just how I feel in it. And then it's just like I've been having a lot of trouble lately with the lack of transparency in orders. I ordered something, a portrait of my dog, and
It's very cute though.
which I
It's so
forgot
cute.
which I forgot to bring in. But they never told me when it shipped. And so like 10 days after the order date, I was like trying to be patient and be kind to these people. And I was like, no, I need to finally reach out. And of course, the day that I did reach out, they were like, oh no, it's in your town. There was a disconnect between their like technology there, because they never told me that it shipped. So I was never able to track the order, especially when you're paying more money for something too. Like $50 doesn't seem a lot to some people, but it's a lot to me. And if I'm going to order something, I want to know when it's coming so that I can be there for it.
Right.
When I think that challenge is the disconnect. These companies sometimes are relying, well, most of the time they're relying on other companies, whether that be, a UPS or a FedEx or a private company, to deliver the goods. And so it's kind of like, not that there's too many cooks in the kitchen, but you have to hope that that company is doing their job as well, so that you don't pay the price for it. Because I know, Brielle, you've covered that a couple of times in your 3PL articles. Like sometimes it's that company that gets the bad rap for it, and that's not always the case.
Mm-hmm. So I can tell you my story. So I'm in a wedding coming up, and we bought our bachelorette dresses on one of those new websites that like specialize in online platforms for bridal parties. And I accidentally ordered the wrong size. And when I returned it, they said that they were going to send me a new one in my size. And it got here and it was the wrong dress. And they do not have any of the dress I need in my size in stock.
Oh
it's
my
in
gosh.
production right now. And I'm so nervous. So we just have to hope that it'll get here soon so I can have it for the wedding, or I'm going to have to wear a different dress. I don't know. I'm holding on to the other one just in case. But it's hard because the company's so nice and they're trying, and mistakes do happen, we know. And with COVID, mistakes are happening a lot more across the board because everyone's stretched so thin and everyone's ordering stuff online. And it's just, a crazy time period right now. So I think I would try and say that that we're making strides forward. But as we've seen with the Suez Canal and things like that happening in transportation, I don't really know where we're going to go from here. I'm sure in a year or so, once once the pandemic has kind of, flatlined and we're kind of, responding and what do you call it? Back to normal, but also fixed, just learning from our mistakes, I think everything will go back to normal.
Right.
At least we'll have a new normal.
Well, I think the challenge is making that guarantee. And I know that you both have talked about it in your unboxing. Like if you're going to say that something is delivering in 4 days, then it better deliver in 4 days. If it's not, then just either leave it open-ended or just say it may take up to a week, kind of revise those terms a little bit so that you can guarantee that. And you're not, I think, McKenna, I think you have said this before, and I think it's so true. Like if I'm going to get something and they say it's going to take a week, I would be better off with them being honest and transparent about it than them saying you'll get it in 2 days and then you get it in like 5 days.
Right.
Yeah.
I would rather know. So just be transparent so that, consumers understand. And then, I don't think, me as the consumer, but also as somebody who works and writes for and covers this industry, we're not expecting these companies to move mountains. We understand the challenges that they have, but I think from a consumer standpoint, not every consumer understands that. So they're like, I need this and I need it now, and it's not here. So now I'm upset.
Right. Not everyone has the background in supply chain and logistics to be as empathetic as the three of us and others.
Right.
Because
that's a challenge. Yeah.
With this last order, not the separate orders, but the one that took forever just to ship and didn't let me know when it shipped, that could have lost me as a customer if I didn't have such a pleasant experience with them before and I know what they are capable of. They probably would have never gotten me to purchase from them again.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, I think the customer service part on the back end is really key because we all understand things happen, but it's how you repair it and make the customer feel like, hey, I'm not saying it may not happen again, but here's how I'm going to fix it for you right now. Our situation was very daunting because nobody was taking responsibility for it. Nobody was taking credit for it. They kept blaming each other. And it's like, look, I don't really care whose fault it is. We just have this treadmill in our foyer for a month. And I just want somebody to come and fulfill the order. So, it worked out. We ended up getting all of that extra service for free, but it was besides the point. It was such a hassle and constant phone calls and emails and, okay, well, we'll wait another week. And they kept saying, well, it is COVID. Well, you've been doing this for a year. And I'm assuming we're not the only person who's ordered a treadmill in the past year. In fact, we know that part of the industry has skyrocketed. So, how does it taking you that long? So I don't know. I think every situation is different. I'm going to also post the link to McKenna's blog because she does talk about it a lot. But I know that there's
lots of things.
Well, it started out, I think we're at the 1 year anniversary of your candle situation where you received the candle and it came broken because that's when we first started talking about
it wasn't. The candles came broken. It was I ordered hand soap because it was right at the beginning.
That's what it was.
It was right at the beginning of the pandemic, and I had like maybe a half bottle left. So I was like, 2 weeks. I think we could get through that, and that was enough time. We wash our hands a lot, so, but it took like 20 days, 3
I thought it was more than a month.
It was like reaching the month part. I don't think it was more than a month, but it got to the town next to where I lived, which is where their like UPS center is, and then it somehow got into the wrong truck or something because then it went to Utah, and then it went back to like Indiana, and then it got back to Wisconsin, and there was candles in that box too, but nothing broke, and I think that is the most impressive part in it because that company, they were transparent the entire time they were like, oops, something happened. But they
Yeah.
all, nothing broke. They have insanely good packaging.
Well, and I think the other challenge is where they're shipping from. You know, a lot of these warehouses and distribution and fulfillment centers, they're not always nearby. And I think that is continuing to be a challenge because nobody saw this pandemic coming. So how would they have known, like, hey, I need to make sure I build a fulfillment center closer to where, you know, this bulk of people are so that I can get my product to them? Nobody thought that. And here we are with a lot of vacant spots, you know, movie theaters and malls and a lot of places that have closed down because of the pandemic. And we're seeing people and companies go in and turn those into order fulfillment or micro fulfillment or, you know, just a warehouse. I know that the mall by us, they're like half of it's been sitting vacant and they're just turning it into an extra warehouse distribution facility for all the local grocery stores, like the Targets and the Jewels and the Walmarts and everybody nearby. And that's brilliant because it kind of eliminates that so that the products don't have to, you know, it's like a layover. You're flying to, you know, 2 states over, but you end up across the other side of the country first before you can get there. That's kind of like how I associate it with. So
for that kind of information, please stay tuned to a video that I did with Jeff Cashin of Great Orange. We are talking to all of our pros to knows, and we talked nonstop in this upcoming video about micro fulfillment centers. So keep your eyes tuned or peeled.
And we have an unboxing the last mile episode coming up about fresh meal kits. So that's really exciting. Lots of fresh food coming.
And that's exciting because with the last mile, I know we've talked about this one too, like how sometimes you get the product and by the time you get it, specifically McKenna because she's unlucky in logistics, but half of the product is already spoiled. And so it's like, how do you master that last mile when you're dealing with temperature controlled products? I mean, now we're talking a completely different kind of a challenge. I know that that's the challenge ongoing with a lot of these COVID vaccines. You know, it's like, hey, it's going to go to waste if it doesn't not only get there, but used, but it's got to get there first.
Well, there is technology involved, and you will find out in our upcoming episode.
There you go. See, I'm very excited for that. And speaking of those Pros to Know videos that McKenna is doing, some of our winners of Pros to Know and our rock stars of the supply chain for food logistics, those videos are now starting to stream on our websites once a week, sometimes twice a week. And there's just so many wonderful interviews with so many of our wonderful supply chain leaders in this industry. So we're very excited to continue to honor them, even though we announced the winners a couple of weeks ago. We are excited to be continuing to honor them for the next couple of months because that's how many interviews there are. I think McKenna will be interviewing people until the end of the year. I'm just joking.
True.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
It sure feels like it. So what other stories do you guys have with last mile? I know my treadmill one was the big one. We do a lot of grocery delivery and grocery pickup, but we've never really had any issues. Unlike McKenna, I'm very lucky in logistics. Logistics likes me.
I don't know if it's because I live in an apartment building and people just can't figure it out or something like that, but it's constant. Yeah. I paid for next day shipping from an electronics store. I will not name drop this one, but I paid next day shipping for something from the electronics store, and it was $8 or $10 for next day shipping. And I never do that, but I was very desperate because I have one of those phones that doesn't have a headphone jack anymore, so I really needed the adapter, and it didn't come for 5 days. And
so let me get this straight. You paid extra to get it the next day, and you still did not get it, even though you paid extra.
I did not get it. And I think this store fulfills from their stores too for next day shipping items.
See, and that's disheartening because it's not that it's free and you're just hoping that you get it. You know, you are paying extra for what is considered to be a special service, a value added, add-on.
Right.
and it's still not happening. So there's definitely a disconnect between the time that product gets processed and leaves the warehouse to the time it gets put on the truck to your door. And I think that's the challenge. But again, that goes back to companies either don't charge extra, don't guarantee extra, just, or make it a flat fee and just say, hey, it may take 2 weeks. I don't know the answer to that.
Right.
And the annoying part was that I had free shipping without it, but I paid to get it shipped. But I didn't buy it on a Friday, but it's one of those websites where it said, like, if you order within this certain amount of time, it will get delivered on Saturday at this time. So I did it because I was talking to Brielle when I did it, that I ordered it at like 8 a.m. on a Friday, and it didn't come until Wednesday.
That's crazy.
That is so crazy.
Logistics.
I mean, that's like, they like see your name and they're like, oh, we're going to continue to get her. Like you're in some database that everybody has. Like every time you order, something's going to go wrong. That is insane. I know.
There in this blog post that I wrote, I just like go into detail, and really it started back in 2019 when a big box retailer sent me 2 Christmas trees.
Yes.
And
then you've had issues with Etsy too.
Oh, that's where it's in my closet.
Yeah.
I don't wear it.
And it's not so much Etsy, the site, it's the people that are selling on Etsy, like that marketplace. It's
just like
the platform that seller's using. I know exactly what happened with McKenna.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's disheartening because all I do is shop online.
Well, you got free stuff with it too, so you should be happy.
Okay.
It's just not the right kind of free stuff. It's stuff that's sitting in her closet that she's not going to use.
True.
Yeah, but then like I've had orders completely shattered to me. Maybe I should just shopping at this store, because this seems to be
what? I think that's what the issue is. It all happens to you because you shop online so much. You have so many more chances for it to happen to you.
That's true.
Okay, so I'm a young person. All I ever do is shop online. However, I've never gotten groceries delivered. We ordered online groceries for the first time like a month ago. So there's some stuff that I'm not really willing to risk, but I'm just, I bought my bed. I bought my mattress online. I'm pretty into it. So I have faith in these last mile systems, but when things come shattered and then you cut your finger open and you're kind of pissed for the rest of the day because of it, or you get the wrong objects, or you get a packing slip and there's nothing in there, which has also happened to me. You lose your faith in retailers, you lose your faith in shopping online, and what is seemed to be a convenience is actually a burden, and I'd rather go in stores.
Right.
Yeah.
So so it's probably like a 60-40 chance, like 60% maybe you get it right, 40% you get everything correct. Is that about it?
Yeah. So
I
had a meltdown over the
weekend. Odds are not on your side here, McKenna.
Had a meltdown over the weekend and ordered a bunch of stuff online on Sunday. So I'll let you know, because everything is projected to arrive on Friday. But I already got one of them. I don't know when the other 4 are going to arrive. And I got things from 3 different stores. So I'll circle back. Maybe it'll be my next blog and I'll just rate them all.
So what I want to know is, the place that you paid extra for the shipping, are you able to get that shipping fee refunded?
No, I tried and they said no.
Okay, that's insane.
See, that's why I'm bringing that up. See, that's where it goes into, like, these companies that are trying to, fulfill the last mile. You have to be conscientious of what you're trying to promise. That's ridiculous.
That episode of The Office when Dwight and Jim go on sales calls, or they go to people to make sales, and in it, the guy is like, oh, but Staples is just more affordable to us. And the entire time, Dwight is trying to reach Staples customer service. And it takes it took like a half hour or something like that but then he was able to call up Kelly right away and reach it. And it makes me want to buy more from small businesses because I know
Right.
they care about me more.
Well, and they're more available. I know that there's some companies that have the chat option on their website, which I love because I don't have to actually sit on the phone and wait for somebody. But then half the time they're not able to help you. And then they make you end up calling anyways.
Or they send you
So
an FAQ page. Like, no.
you're like, I just want to talk to somebody so I can figure out where my order is or why my order is wrong or why you charged me this and this is what I ended up getting. And so
I will say that most of the time these the chat bots are people. And so
Yeah.
you should be nice. And these
Well,
bots,
it starts out as bots and then it's, let me transfer you to a person.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but they're always trying to send me to the FAQ first. And I was like, no, I need a person.
Target is really good with their chat.
yeah,
There's a
they
couple
really
that
are.
are amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, they really are. That could be even a good unboxing episode is just trying to find out the different chats because part of all the logistics
Yeah.
is the customer service end of it. And that's, that's great that they want to send stuff in 4 days or a week or whatever the case is, but none of that matters if the customer service is not there and you don't make the customer feel appreciated and understood.
That is something that I am discussing with all the pros and the rock stars. I always ask people what should people know about the supply chain? And 9 out of 10 times, everybody has said is that you have to care about the people.
Mhm.
It is all about the people.
Absolutely.
And that's really what this industry is. It's all about consumers. It's all about
Absolutely.
who you are working with, because no matter whatever you are producing, it is affecting a person. And you have to remember that.
Well, and especially with, the stuff that's being shipped to people's homes, like you have to understand that now people are shopping differently, they're eating differently, they're just living their lives differently. And everybody kind of has their own outlook on how this new normal looks and how we're supposed to survive it and deal with it. And so when you're ordering something, you don't know if that's something that they absolutely need right away, or if they need it, for whatever reason, if it's medicine or food or, you just don't know. And I think that that's kind of part of the challenge. Granted, having a treadmill in my foyer was very, it was a pain in the butt, but it wasn't like a make or break life situation, like it wasn't like my kids have outgrown their pants and they have nothing to wear when they go to actually in person, or, somebody is in dire need of this medical device that they need at home because we had to pull them out of the nursing home and they're now living with us, whatever the situation is. So I think that kind of also goes into it. Like, you just don't know what people are going through. And when something like this happens, it's just one more thing they have to deal with. So, but I feel like the last mile is for the most part keeping up. For the most part, they've definitely pivoted and done everything that they've needed to do. There are definitely some challenges that hopefully will continue to work out. And again, some companies are doing better than others. I know we talk about technology a lot. Technology, for those companies who have not invested in any, are definitely falling by the wayside from that, because technology is what's helping a lot of these companies function. So, but for those watching, everything that we talk about is on foodlogistics.com. SDCexec.com. You can read the Pros to Know videos. You can read our Rock Stars of the Supply Chain videos. Make sure to download Brielle's Link podcast. I put the link to the link. I do that every month. I'm like so excited when I say that. The link to the link is in the chat. Make sure you register for SCN Summit. You can watch Brielle's and mine from yesterday. You can also tune in for tomorrow's session. You can also register for our April session on workforce development. And keep an eye on those awards pages on our websites, because we have the top supply chain projects open, but we have 2 more coming up down the road, and we're very, very excited about those. So make sure you log on to our websites and kind of check everything out. Make sure you follow us on Twitter as well. And be sure to join us next week, same time, same place, Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central for our COVID-19.
I just want to say something.
Oh my gosh, yes, I'm sorry. What? I did not
Just
see this.
something
Finger.
really quick, because I know it just sounds like we've been complaining a lot in this episode, but really we know that these companies are doing the best that they can given the circumstances of the current pandemic, just like we're doing the best that we can. So just continue to be kind and practice empathy, because just like how they don't know what we're going through, we don't know what they're going through as well.
Correct.
And you get to know a lot more about this in these videos that I've been doing as well.
And that's continue. Go.
I just wanted to say, stay tuned for the more behind the scenes as we get into last mile delivery in unboxing, and also to accompany that, our June 3PL story is focused on last mile reefer trends. So that's coming up as well.
So for those watching, if you want to be a part of it, just email Brielle.
Or not.
Yes, but I do agree, because I think that those videos do kind of shine a light on the personal side of what our industry is going through. And that's why I love those awards, because it's about the people, and the people matter. The people are the ones making the difference. They're in those trenches day in and day out, making supply chains matter, making them work. So those video interviews that McKenna has done are so special, because they do really drill down the specifics of what these people are going through, both personally and professionally. And I think that that's amazing that we get to showcase that and continue to honor them. So thank you for all of those who continue to be a part of our little supply chain family. And thank you both to you ladies for all of your continued efforts in helping us spotlight and showcase the supply chain industry. So make sure you tune in next week. We have our COVID-19 1 year later special. And I don't know if you've been on our websites, but we've been sharing some teasers of stuff online, just some articles. But what we're going to do is recap some significant supply chain events that happened as a result of COVID-19 and kind of compare to how things are today. I know that last mile is part of that conversation, but also think grocery shopping, think working from home, thinking of how you live your life, thinking of what you order online, why you do things the way you do. Those are the kind of the discussions that we're having. So as always, follow us on Facebook and Twitter to watch this live, and you can chat and we'll address all your questions and comments live. Otherwise, thank you everybody for watching today, and we'll see you next week at Wednesday, 11 a.m. Central. Thank you. Bye-bye.